Hello, Robert Markin coming to you from sunny and warm South Dakota. Today's about 80 degrees. We're just first part of May of 2012, and I've been on Bud Davis's website, water ski website, forum, Ski All Six, and I had noticed people on the website talking about back problems and so on and so forth. And one thing about water skiing, as most water skiers have always heard, is that the sport of water skiing is a very core-intensive sport, a core-intensive sport where you use a lot of your core strength. And I really feel there's a lot of misconceptions about your core and how to engage your core. In one of Chris Rossi's excellent articles, Chris talks about engaging the core in the Power Triangle article. And we've heard about core strength and so on and so forth, but what is your core? How do you engage and how do you train it? I have been training my core for a number of years now, and there are ways that you you can train your core on a daily basis in the gym, just through all the different exercises you may be doing. Whether it's bench pressing, whether it's lat pull downs, whether it's rowing exercises, whether it's curls, whether it's tricep extensions, whether it's squats, leg presses. A person training in the gym can engage his core and strengthen his core strength while training with most weightlifting. In some of my videos, I do talk about the importance of engaging your core and staying flexed. Well, one of the biggest experts on core training his name is Pavel, P-A-V-E-L, out of Russia. He actually trained the elite military in Russia on core training. He is actually the gentleman from Russia who brought the kettlebell training to the United States and the training on how to engage your core. Obviously the core muscles are real critical in all athletic performance. If you do some research on the core muscles, it'd be like the abdomen muscles, the obliques, the spinal erector muscles, and all the cores help stabilize you in staying in upright position. If you study about core, the importance of core and core strength, your core strength is your foundation strength for almost all athletic sports. The stronger your core muscles are, the stronger your secondary and other muscles can fire. So for example, the faster your core muscles can fire, the faster they can engage and recruit your secondary muscles, okay, and other muscles throughout the body, whether it's the legs and the arms, so on and so forth, chest, back. Also, the stronger that your core muscles fire, the stronger that your secondary muscle groups or your other muscle groups can actually fire. So really, training the core at all times in weightlifting, weight training, and other types of cross training is really important. One way to really engage the core, one thing about engaging the core is learning how to. For example, Pavel talks about in some of his articles about how to engage your core for athletics or for lifting and so on and so forth. He talks about inhaling, deeply exhaling, and holding about 75% of that air in your lungs, and then basically flexing those abs like you're going to get punched in the stomach. Now, how do you know if you're really engaging your core? Okay, if you can actually talk while you're engaging your core muscles, your abdomen muscles, okay, that means that your core is engaged. If you can't talk, that just means you're holding pressure in your lung cavity, and basically, and you're not really engaging your core thoroughly. In water skiing, this applies to water skiing. I talked to a national champion. She is a female from Okehili, and I asked her, listen, do you engage your core during your slalom set? She goes, of course, I always do. And she's like, well, who doesn't? And it's just something that she does second nature, where I don't really think skiers really know how to engage their core. So, engaging the core muscles. Basically is flexing the abs almost all the way through the course, as though you're getting punched in the stomach all the time. Okay? And whether you're pulling face, locking in, flex, coming in, return, flex, reaching, countering, flex, lock in, flex, almost. It's like you're getting hit in the stomach all the time, so I'm going to punch you in the stomach. That's how you know that your core is being engaged. A lot of skiers will talk about how out of breath that they are at the end of the slalom course, and they should be. When you're engaging your core, your abs are locked and your diaphragm's locked. You really can't do any deep breathing. It's only light breathing. For example, if I were to take a deep breath right now and relax my diaphragm, and somebody punched me in the stomach, it'd knock the air out of me. So, when you're skiing, you have to be in a position, flexing the abs, flexing the core. So if somebody's hit you, anytime during the phase that those abdominal muscles are locked and flexed, okay, that's not only firing your ab muscles, but your rectal muscles and other stabilizing muscles through the midsection. At the end of the lake, a lot of skiers feel like they're really exhausted. They're like saying, well, I must not be breathing really well because I'm so winded and exhausted, out of breath at the end of the pass. Well, that's natural. You're holding your breath for about probably 20 seconds, pull out, turn in all the way through the course, 17, whatever seconds, might be 16, so on and so forth. But at the end of the lake, you're actually out of breath because you've been holding your breath, flexing your core the whole time. For people who are trying to breathe through the course, as soon as you take that deep breath, you disengage your core and you lose your core strength, okay? So, how can we actually, on and off the water, learn how to engage to our core? Okay, well, obviously, deep breath in, exhale, flex. Okay, so in this most important time that I feel to engage the core, to really engage it, is at the finish of the turn, skiing in the handle, we're hooking up into the pulling phase. This is when I really think about engaging the core. Now, another couple key things in engaging the core to make sure that the core is firing properly is squeezing both hands on the handle. If you squeeze and flex, you engage the core more thoroughly and more rapidly. That'll make your arms rigid, that'll make your whole body rigid, so when you pick up the low of the boat, you don't have any lost energy by breaking forward. All the energy goes through the bottom of the ski and cross course. In the gym, you can engage your core at all times on every exercise. Pavel, out of Russia, who developed really some of the basic core training that's been introduced to the United States, talks about whether he is doing bench press, for example. You squeeze the bar, you inhale deeply, exhale, flex the abs like someone's going to punch you the whole time. Squeeze and push off your reps. You want to have light breathing or no breathing. It's almost like holding your breath for 6 to 8 reps. Anything past 8 reps, you start getting out of breath too much, and which you feel like you're maybe suffocating, so keep it about 6 to 8, and that's what I do. So you're actually flex, flex, flex. What Pavel talks about, if you flex here, he calls it irradiation, or radiant energy, or radiant tension. Radiant tension is about the best. You actually feel the nervous system firing as you're squeezing the bar and pressing. Okay, so another exercise would be a dumbbell incline. Same principle, flex, incline press, flex, squeeze. Okay, or rowing. Squeeze, squeeze the grips, okay, or even leg extensions. If you're in the chair, you grab the bars in the chair, you squeeze the grip, inhale, exhale, hold about 75% of air in bomb in your lungs, flex, extension. And if somebody, your training partner, for example, were to punch you in the stomach, anytime through any of these exercises, you would actually have a firm stomach, as though somebody's about ready to punch you in the stomach. Now, another one, for example, doing curls. You'll actually squeeze the grip, both hands, And actually, Pavel's research has shown that if you have one dumbbell in this hand with this hand empty, and you're squeezing here, you'll be fairly strong. But if you were to hold a tennis ball in this hand and squeeze on this hand and get tension through this arm, that actually the arm that you're working will actually be stronger. So, I do this in every exercise that I can possibly do in the gym. Whether it's the lateral raises, front, any of the pressing movements, lateral raises, any of the leg exercises, even squats. I squeeze the bar, flex, and I'm down and up with light breathing, flexing the core. Okay? How can we take this to the water and apply this to the water? Real quickly, I just went and skied in Texas a few weeks ago. Hadn't been doing any cardiovascular exercises whatsoever at all, but I had been doing core training in the gym with these techniques I'm talking about. What I found at the end of the pass, the first day without skiing for a year and a half, I dropped first couple passes around 28 off. I was at 28 off. Then I went to 32. Wasn't winded at all because I had trained my body and my core strength to hold my breath and to flex for 6 to 8, maybe even 10 reps, and that actually built up my stamina for skiing. I dropped in the water, and I'm like, I'm not even breathing hard. The boat driver couldn't even believe it because I hadn't skied for a year and a half. I skied 2 sets a day for the first 3 days. The third day, I ran like 435s, no problem. Had just a little bit of fatigue in the shoulders, not too bad, but it was amazing. And if I wouldn't have experienced it myself, I wouldn't have believed it, and the guy skiing with me didn't believe it either. So, behind the boat, one thing to engage the core is squeezing the grip. Okay, inhale, exhale, hold the pressure, flex, squeeze the grip. Okay, behind the boat, you're squeezing the grip. So you got some tension there, flex, and everything is all the way through the course. It's how somebody's going to punch you in the stomach. Okay, the most important, critical time to really lock in and flex is at the end of the turn, skiing in the handle. You're locking in the power triangle, handle pocket, right before the load of the boat picks you up. Flex, squeeze, lock in. And what happens is no energy will be lost this way by braking. It'll actually go through the ski and cross course. If you don't engage your core, what's going to happen, this is how you get hurt. You're coming around, especially the more you bend this way, the more you disengage the core. It's easier to engage the core the taller that you stand. The more you get down here, the less you can actually really flex it. So as you flex your core, it actually does bring your hips forward. So, ski the handle, lock in, flex, pick up the low of the boat, cross course, counter, ski the handle, lock in, flex, squeeze the hands, flex all the way through. I'm sure I forgot a few things. I wanted to throw this quick video together on core training, and I'm sure I'll probably redo it, but I just want to get it out there for you. By locking in the core, it's going to help stabilize the midsection. It's going to prevent a lot of injuries that skiers are getting. If you don't engage the core and you're breathing, you can break. Like, for example, if you're not engaged in this core and you hit the low of the boat and it's not engaged, you're going to take the load is going to go in the back. Okay, so a real important thing. One thing I would recommend for skiers that maybe don't have really great core strength yet, that really are working on this, is wearing a weightlifting belt. And you know, I cheat any way I can. Put it on before I ski. Now what happens when I breathe in and put pressure on my abs and flex, it actually builds more pressure on this belt. This belt actually becomes much more of a stabilizing effect. So that actually causes for less energy to go this way and more energy to go throughout the bottom ski cross course. So it's kind of a cheat belt, but also the belt actually reminds you to stand tall. Okay? So that's about it for today. I'm running out of time. Happy skiing, and that's about it from Robert Marking here in South Dakota.